I think I'm on day 3. Yep, day 3.
The door is
You know what? My great grandfather died with his hair on. He was 90, 97, 98. Very thick hair, to be honest. Although he went gray. But my grandfather, he died around 75, 76. But his hair was fucking thick and black. Not a single gray on him. Completely black hair. Unbelievable.
Yes?
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slight, Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late wearing piss-stained disco garb. You weren't sent here to win.
Keep it to yourself.
Of course, it's only a theory. Whatever their reasoning, there's nothing written that says you have to prove them right.
Can I help you?
Bloody bills. What is this?
You look like shit.
Man with sunglasses.
And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
You look like shit, asshole.
Wow. You seem stable and in control. Allow me to say, alcohol really seems to have had a positive effect on you. Now, what do you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. He might be wearing a disguise.
Please work.
There's something.
Bad day today. I can feel it. Does it have voice acting, Rabbi?
And I don't. Wow. Now.
He might be wearing a
Fuck. My hands were faster than my mind. I don't know why. I was 100% sure he's gonna fail. That was fucking success.
You look like. And I don't mean that as a. Wow. Now, what?
He might be wearing a disguise. You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
From another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
I think even in this fictional reality, the 57th would still be my station.
My condolences. Go ahead. Have another guess. Okay. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere. Somewhere good.
Kim, who's this guy?
I'm not getting involved in this.
You're wearing a disguise.
Yes, it's a hobby of mine.
As if waiting for some kind of reaction.
Where? That's the where you remember me from?
A bit of a memory trouble.
You don't say. Goodbye then. The voice thing was a coincidence. Run along, asshole.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right?
No, the whole interaction was perfectly normal.
There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at, but still. Yes, just cross it off the list.
Again? I can't
Are we
believe
from the same
this
police
shit.
station?
I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say? Okay?
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your...
And
The
you?
woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now. Yes, I am. I know.
Here's the real deal.
It's hard to tell whether he's sarcastic or sincere. But if you had to guess, you would say the lieutenant is being sarcastic.
Is everything alright?
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you?
I don't know why, I'm just trying to do my best.
But you're not trying your best, are you?
Calm down. Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want?
What does one talk about with a fellow officer?
Are we from the same police station?
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Are you with him?
Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask?
He's an asshole.
You're an asshole. You know what? Maybe we're both assholes.
Please, let's not turn this into another exchange, okay?
So what precinct are you from?
What precinct?
Fucking deranged lunatic.
You're getting an intellectually unsatisfying vibe from this conversation. Maybe you're doing something wrong.
I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, Judith.
What are you, the police, doing here?
I'm just looking out for, yes, a policewoman who just wants to do her job. That's all.
Something about the man with sunglasses and you, the energy between you two is making her uncomfortable.
Again? I can't...
Yes?
Alright.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Tell me about Morel.
Oh, dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
What does he look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle. Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him. even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case. We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me about these rare insects.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Fuck, he
Of
doesn't
course,
let me
dear.
speak with her. We go to Ervart first. Try to get our pistol back. Then we see what's gonna be next. But first that. There's a lot to cover now.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you? Yeah, the janitor who gave me the key to his apartment said the guy's a bit of an asshole. Like I said before, I don't know much about this weasel, but the bossman said he's a real piece of...
Let's go to the bossman. Then we'll see what's gonna be next. Dante, good evening, Dante. How are you doing, Dante? How's the lockdown? It's always the same. Yeah. You should say never ending. Alright. This is what we need now.
Mr. Dubois, every
Blah.
worker...
You can only hope. Every worker is a living god. Every worker for himself.
And for his fellow man. That's right, Mr. Dubois. You're turning out to be quite the individualist there. So, you had business with me?
Remember the container I asked you about? Turns out there's a mega rich light bending guy inside.
Mega rich light bending guy? Oh my god. How did that get in there?
Slime like him must have oozed in through the cracks.
Damn it to hell, Harry. I specifically told my guys to check all the containers for mega rich light bending guys.
him, tell him he was there.
There was a guy in the container, but he didn't bend any light. That was in the detective's head.
Honestly, guys, we might be moving all kinds of suspicious things through this harbour, but I won't be caught transporting the light-bending mega-rich. I have a reputation to protect. You're right, Harry. I am a socialist. I'm going to catch the mega-rich guy inside the container and harvest his energy to power the harbour's fog lights. I shudder to think what you're going to tell me next, Harry.
Not for 1 second did he believe there's an actual mega-rich person somewhere in his container town.
Fucking game. I did it, Error. I turned it off.
What?
The shady brew. It had alcohol in it. Now there's no alcohol.
Did I? Well done then, Harry. I like not knowing about it, and I'm sure you made the right call. I spend the whole day delegating tasks, and it's a great relief to see people taking initiative. I don't even want to know what all of that means. Brew, shady, alcohol, turned off. I'm gonna let the world surprise me.
Open the door, you asked me. Can we discuss the murder?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so I didn't.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
Heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps. Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
It sounds like the government in my country. What? You're imagining things, don't you now, eh? You're going like the character here, completely psychosis. It's all a nightmare, it's not real. I'll wake up and the world will be cool and great, like it's 2000, what, 15.
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
Man, I was out a lot in the last 5 days or so, alright? I had to finish some things around the city and so on. People, on average, from 1 to 10, how crazy they are. I believe they're reaching like 8 or 9, alright? At least in my country. I can't even explain it, alright? For example, the traffic. Everyone is on horn, everyone is on gas. There are so many freaking accidents, you know? Everyone is on some drugs, painkillers, antipsychosis pills and similar shit. People are full with rage. I never seen something like that in my life. And it's just getting worse and worse as the time goes. Like, I've been seeing it every day for the last 5 days. Everywhere.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
I'm fine for one thing though, okay? I stayed sane enough. Compared to them, I stayed sane enough. I can't say I'm okay, alright? No one is. But compared to them, I'm quite normal. How they act, what they do. Everyone is fucking crazy.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
You got a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical and so is the village, but the mercs and their brutality are very real. Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
You see, he's in full lockdown, goddammit. He lives in a freaking container. When he wants to move somewhere, they move the container. That's how we gonna move in 10 years from now. When we wanna move, we're gonna move the entire house or a building. They move the container.
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
There was a bullet in a hangman's head.
So they shot him.
He was shot in the head before he was hanged.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Lieutenant. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my two little policemen. Godspeed, policeman.
How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
That does sound quite unlikely, yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
You mentioned a lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Wait, the girl by the whirling, who was keeping an eye on you. Is he talking about her?
You sent her to spy me. Better not mention it. Better not mention it.
Oh, and she also really likes gardening, I hear. In March? Strange. Anyway, let's move on.
Can you ask Hardy's cooperate with me?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk. Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Needless to say, this is another move. Don't take it.
No, I don't need it.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
That's it.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike. I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet. Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat. He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
I'm neither left or right. I do what my heart tells me to do.
What does your heart tell you about your lost gun, Harry? Does it tell you to forget about it? Or do you think it wants to be found? I think it's lonely and cold. I think it wants to be found, and I have a proposal for you.
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
What do you think of this, Kim?
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
But he thinks it's your call.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can, deliberately omitting things.
What does signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where's this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
You're already pretty deep into this. What's a little more? No one can see you here in Martinez.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Are you 100% sure they're not gonna end up homeless?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're gonna build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbour.
I can ask him if I'm there.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
Open white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I heard there was some trouble with the water lock, but it should be fixed now. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then we can talk about your gun.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
That's me, Mr. Reasonable.
The air suddenly feels calmer, more transparent in a strangely tender way. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin. But something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
Where's the Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How do you bring about those circumstances?
Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
What about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the Kingdom of Conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working. What rationality? What sang-froid? What benevolence? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress. The kingdom is partly because it's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow? That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
And what is the thought? Kingdom of Conscience. Am I supposed to know? I should actually remove something out of here and it costs me skill points if I want to learn anything. And I kind of like everything I learned. I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Mr. Dubois, most certainly, Harry.
What did I say about the mug?
Nothing bright racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment. You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best. Helping people. With the power of politics.
Yes, yes. Do you think this weasel is somehow connected to the murder?
Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
Oddly, it seems to be true.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this, but he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are neat freaks. If you don't mind me saying so, I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right? Of course, Harry. I'm not a real police officer. You are. By all means, Harry. What's...
The bridge is open, we can go across. There's nothing else left. At least I think so. There is one thing that I will check before I cross the bridge. I'm gonna try that first. We go to the library.
You broke down the back door, the wards, the door. It's all gone now. Dark psychic energy leeching onto my shop.
Sometimes it's necessary to resort to extreme measures.
I suppose it's all over now. I guess there's no escape.
It's just a door.
Just a door? This place is cursed, Detective. They don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Just look at the sheer amount of companies that have failed in this house. I hope you're happy now. Happy that you've ruined everything. Now that you've broken the door, the curse is coming to get me as well.
Host Almighty, she prays, guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the door. Blessed be your name.
The curse wasn't real.
Of course you didn't. You're nothing but a policeman. All right. You know what? I'm willing to let you investigate the doomed commercial area. We are set on the path. There's little else to do.
Her facade has dropped. Now you see the curiosity behind the fear.
But before we go on, tell me, did you encounter the malignant entity?
Of course, the entity. Close your eyes. Didn't see her, but I sense her presence.
You did? Then it has to be true. I've suspected that this woman-shaped energy must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you see that she lives inside the chimney?
Now we're onto something. Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell. Of course, it all makes sense now.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. And do return to me after you've talked to it. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
If you're really interested in cracking this mystery, then we should go back to the furnace. Maybe you could yell into it or something. Make some noise. You'll think of something, you always...
Okay, but please, only a few questions. You wouldn't want to disturb the spirits.
How does the curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
I was hoping for something more paranatural.
But officer, there's nothing natural about entire companies declaring bankruptcy. I'm talking about cacodemons, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Why didn't you tell me right away?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words. Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
Sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear, it's not enough.
And the one around your neck?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people.
What about the wards on the back door?
Yes, the Simonese are very crafty, and their wards are extremely powerful. Lesser wards...
The woman looks aloof.
Book peddler. We gonna go back in there.
Hi, Aston.
That's all we can do.
As before, this is directly above the...
That's the entrance to the chimney.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages.
Yell.
No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
I summon the ghost of this Doom commercial area. Ancillary spirit. I go like that. Come upstairs. Safety curtain on the second floor.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Back to the floor. They didn't have any problems. Disco Elysium is isometric, point and click adventure. But for sure it's not CRPG. That dice is okay, but they're used for conversations. So let's say it's 5% CRPG, everything else is not.
Hello, I'm Nia. Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Melius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind? Yes, Amelia is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking me about the dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
I like role-playing games and I need some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How do you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there. Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
So you never looked out of the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before
You
her.
work on Sunday nights.
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I
Area Doom commercial area.
have heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
How do you explain what happened to the other companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about not exactly a million real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real? This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the Mutiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
What will the transmission say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio. They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules. The usual, they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time. Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Okay.
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Fritta does the same thing.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Ravenshaw ICT, and they already had the bear.
What about the bear?
The bear. Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravenshaw ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean. He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Sounds cool. Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
Megatherian, a mega wild beast. It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Don't have a comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream. hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Shivers. Shivers, shivers, shivers. Do I have shivers somewhere? Anywhere? Shivers. What's the chance now?
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Fucking kidding me? Why so low? Raise the hair on your neck, tune into the city. Level up.
Oh, it's you again.
28%. Now that
Are
can
you
work.
looking for a die?
Perhaps. Let's see what's gonna
Oh,
happen.
it's you again. Are you looking?
You feel nothing.
I fucking don't. This needs to work. Rabbi, isn't it early access? Yeah.
Oh, it's you again.
You feel nothing.
It's not. Does it have full voice acting or not?
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking?
You feel nothing.
Oh, it's you again.
You feel nothing.
Jesus Christ, with this. Ah, it's a comedy.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
You feel nothing.
Oh, it's you again.
You feel nothing.
Are you bugged?
Oh, it's you again.
You feel nothing.
What's wrong with these dices today?
Oh, it's you again.
You feel nothing.
Oh, it's you again.
A gust of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
I think I know why your business hasn't failed.
Didn't we already talk about this?
You're not in the same building as others.
What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world. But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Gain a thought. I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Your most extraordinary die.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet, to complement your magnetic personality?
Pieces of lodestone were used as the first magnetic compasses, from which they derived their other name, coarse stones.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours.
Do magnetic dice even roll properly?
It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do.
Deal.
Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
See you in 8 hours.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit over.
As you turn, a bright light catches your eye, making you squint.
Where's it coming from?
From a distant sunset, a stage light, flash photography, nowhere in particular. It's just what superstar law officers do. They squint at lights and they solve shit. Yeah, you have. You're a big dick cop, Dick Mullen. Salam Rocky Baye, badass on the edge disco cop. Time to recede into a ludicrous fantasy world. Here we go. Camera, lights.
Action.
With a sudden flash,
Another don't.
the world freezes around you, and you along with it. In an iconic monochrome solution, a black silhouette against a rasterized orange world. It's on.
Let me see, I got a lot of new thoughts. Precarious world. Temporary research bonus, all red checks fail. That's fucking crazy for 4 hours. Kind of a superstar. I don't know, man. I really don't know what I should take and what I should remove. I really need to think about all of this. So it's 8 hours now. Curious about something now.
Tiles on the like a smooth drip. The speaker.
Good morning. Please repeat. Good.
No, I don't have a
Don't
password.
First accident. Thank you.
Tiles on the cube. The speaker comes to.
Good morning. Please repeat. Thank you.
Tiles on the cube. Up the filament slides out of it.
Fuck. I'll check it, Robbie.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Just a failed business. The only question is what the hell they were making.
Yes, that is the question.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Anyone ever done that before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West. among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology. Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard. Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
Do we have any money? Let's give them more money so they can finish it and make it even bigger.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay, let's keep moving.
We're done here, we're gonna cross the bridge.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings
I talked to
in
the
them.
entity you told me about.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not the one to blame for the curse.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm. Just don't say you don't have any answer yet. The uncertainty is killing her. To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
The source is in taxidermy's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place.
Oh, how horrid! I knew something wasn't right about that place. Tell me, did you find a way to break the curse?
I performed the ancient Seminese dispelling rites. Commercial area is doomed no more. In a flash of a disco brilliance. Yeah.
Guillaume Le Million? The singer who made that awful face? Well, I do see the resemblance. All that matters is that the energies are retreating. I can already feel the curse lifting. It will be a long time until we're fully free of it, of course. But still, thank you, officer. Truly, you've brought a better psycho-emanation to this humble bookstore, and that's no small achievement.
She so badly wants this to be over. She would have believed anything. It will only last a day or two, a week tops. Then her mood will sour and she will feel the curse again.
All right then. All's well that ends well. Should we return?
We gotta go to the bridge. inside. There's a car inside there. Biker Cup Sunnis. Ghosts of us. What is this? Polish church in St. Seance. Some money, nothing at all. See if I can inspect some of those items later on. For now, we're gonna wander around. Fuel canister.
A banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
It appears to be so.
Let's investigate.
I agree. We should definitely investigate.
Find the traffic hooligan.
You get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea.
Run your hand over the cold metal.
The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it.
Can I see a logo?
The logo is too deep in murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
How long has it been here?
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening. Your mocking tone finds no response, but the motion of the waves.
Yet another case of the engine displacement triumphing over the driver's IQ.
Yes, yes. Clearly, this is a triumph. I'd say the vehicle has been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
What should we do?
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside.
Great idea. Then we can get the things inside. The joyrider must have left something good inside. Guns, papers, maybe a cool jacket. A joyrider jacket.
How long will it take?
I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
Sit on the swing and wait for the tide to recede. It's 10:40.
As you sit down in the old rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent.
15 minutes past.
The hinges creak under your weight. Dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance, then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. Two birds on a wire, whistling by the seaside, looking at the water and a sunken car. The wind blows. In the distance, behind the church, some vagrants are having an argument over a bag of tear they found in the reeds. Further away, a flock of seagulls lands. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Would you rather sit on an anthill for an hour or stand in a river of leeches?
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Okay, he's thinking.
for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this.
This is a disaster.
Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my kinema.
This was 20% of the station's vehicular budget.
And things were going so well.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn.
Conclude. Let's see what's in there.
Yes, let's go take a look.
We found the traffic hooligan. Save it. RCM badge. Lieutenant Dubois. Commander's jacket. Visual calculus on it. Where's the badge? That's my badge.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
Found my badge.
At least something good came out of all this.
Study the badge.
Encased between 2 durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Look at a photo.
The man keeps winking at you with his green-gray eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
Why is he winking?
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it did on you. It looks like you had quite the charming face way back then. Your hair is brown and slightly curly. Your eyes seem more clear somehow. The lack of alcohol swelling is a bonus, though there's a pinch of that in your cheeks already. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Name. Carrier Dubois.
Harrier, that's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
What kind of name is Harrier? I don't want to be Harrier Dubois. Don't accept it. Harrier Dubois it is then.
It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
A name like armor.
Accept it.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information.
Rank Lieutenant.
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What is your freighter?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're double Freighter. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken. or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
What's the comptage?
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol citizens militia. It means counting down to twos.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings. Kings like satellite officers and the additionally a freighter rank I already explained.
Satellite officer.
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite.
So you'll be putting up with all my bullshit because I'm your superior. Because we're of the same rank. Same rank or superior. Basically superior, he turned down the captain twice. But that's gonna annoy him, we're gonna do this.
No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even
Dante, good night, Dante.
He trusts you for now. Try not to spoil it.
I thought my rank was drunk.
Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary.
There are no ex-alcoholics.
People have been through worse and gotten back on their feet, Lieutenant W. Freighter.
Turn back the document.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads...
Serial.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
Date of issue, 7th of November, 50.
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter.
He turned down to be a captain 4 months ago.
A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
You're pretty sure you weren't doing well. But better? Probably yes.
Precinct.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41. Like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor. A lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
Well,
it's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva.
Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, names from your decomptage flash in your forebrain. He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light.
put the badge
You
away.
see
Well, we're done here. Got the badge back. What I would do now is call in the station and report that I have the badge back. If we can, of course. Let's see.
inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Pick up the radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Have you heard back for the serial number?
Yes. The armor was produced by Fairweather in their facilities in Bétancourt, sur la Clé in 42. It was part of a special order for Corps de Pharmacie, a security firm contracted to protect the interests of Aramis pharmaceutical companies. So, it seems the armor went to Seminine. That's where the paper trail ends, though. Even the firm has proven difficult to track. Corps de Pharmacie has been renamed several times over in the years since the armor was issued. The most recently registered firm that the ICP has been able to connect to the CDP is a military contractor called Trinell, and the one before it was Downwell. I think they might be the same contractor.
A suit of armor like this would have been manufactured with a particular person's physique in mind. You should ask for whom this suit was fitted.
Yes, but the ICP tends to be reluctant to share private sector records. I could try to talk them into it, though.
Do it.
Sure. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully I will have more information for you then.
Connect me to the 41st.
Just a moment, officer.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Happy to report that I have found my badge, Jules.
10-4, sir, glad to hear that. I'll write down that there is no need to issue a new one to you then. Over.
That's all.
Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
I really hope I'll find the freaking gun. Alright, that's gonna be it for today. It was a shorter stream. It's nearly 2 AM. I need to wake up early. So we're gonna continue tomorrow. Guys, thanks for watching. And I wish you all good night.